What's up, friends? Today we're checking out this song, Idol by Yoasobi. This song is an opening for the anime Oshi no Ko. We're looking at the full music video version of this song as found on YouTube. Yoasobi is such a good artist. If you haven't checked out all of Yoasobi's stuff as a band, as a collective, as this like kind of duo, I highly recommend it. They've got some bangers, just banger after banger. I especially really like the song they had for Witch from Mercury. We'll be looking at this song from the perspective of a producer and songwriter. There will be a lot of pauses to go over specific elements of the song. Knowing Yoasobi, there's going to be a lot of stuff going on in this song. Just a lot of stuff. And I want to make sure we talk about each individual element. So I won't be like watching the whole thing and looking and reacting. I'll be honing in on specific elements. Let's hit it. I love how the beginning of the song sounds like a breakdown of a song. This is normally what you'd expect in like maybe even a K-pop song as kind of the breakdown section of the song or the chorus, but we're just hitting it right from the get-go. So hype, so hype. Really like the hi-hat pattern here. Sounds very trap. And then the bam, 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 bam. It's really just breakdown type of rhythm coming out of those keyboards. That creepy freaking chorus right there is so wild because we just went through this like really happy sounding vocal, very, idol sounding vocal with kind of a breakdown going on. And then we have these creepy choral vocals that you'd expect from like an Attack on Titan opening. It's wild, wild. Getting into the kind of core portion of the song, in my mind, this is the part that sounds most like Yoasobi so far. At first, it sounds very K-poppy and very idol-esque, and then it has this really creepy thing going on in that choral harmonies, and then we have a part that sounds like Yoasobi. You got those really cool synth lines, very rhythmic synth lines, not as much arpeggiation you should normally expect from Yoasobi, and the vocals sound like what we'd expect. They're more straight. They're less having this affectation to them. I really like the use of haze on this part because it again is sounding very Yoasobi. The beat's drawn back a bit. They've stripped a lot of the elements. You've only basically got like one synthesizer, drums, and then those haze in the background. So it creates this really nice energy change. We've had a lot of energy changes so far in this song, and we're only 45 seconds in. It's a wild piece of music. Okay, as far as synth pop goes, this is like top tier. But I really like those haze. I really like that kind of gang vocal style. It's not something you hear a lot in Yoasobi music, and yet I feel the contrast of it sounds really nice. This feels much more like a chorus. You've got those really fast arpeggiating synths on top of that vocal. Nice moving 4 on the floor, house type beat, but a really fast house type beat. It's great. Great little section. That synth is really moving as far as that arpeggiation goes. It's just going. Love how the synth is hitting at these very specific moments in the arpeggiation to create this pattern. The arpeggio is pretty straight in and of itself, but those hits, those chord hits, bring out a really particular groove and pattern within the song. This section is just going too hard for me not to talk about it. Like, what? It's like this whole hip-hop section, and you've got this like super eerie sound. You've got this really like metallic but kind of like muffled metallic sound in the background, with that same groove, the bum, 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 but we've stripped away a lot of those in-between type elements. We've stripped away like those arpeggiating synths, and now we just have those chordal moments, right? And so it's just hitting like that groove, the bum, 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 and she just keeps getting wilder and wilder. And they're doing all this really cool stuff with the vocals. At first, it's pretty straightforward, and then they add more and more distortion. They've taken away a lot of the reverb on the vocal to make it sound less smooth so that you get that really percussive vibe, because this is a more rhythmic hook than it is a melodic hook. I love how that just keeps picking up, and it just gets more and more crazy sounding as they're adding more and more layers to the vocal to give it this really alien feel. I love the different flows you get out of Japanese rap as opposed to English rap. I recently released a song with the artist Shikari, who's a local rapper who raps in Japanese here, and it was so fun, just that contrast of flow that you would get out of him rapping in Japanese. It's so cool to see here. What's so cool about this song is like the contrast in the different parts, and how what comes before a part can really change the perception on it. Because this chorus is very similar to the first chorus. You got a lot of the same elements, but because we've come from this weird breakdown with this crazy sounding rap, going from that to this really cheerful vibe just is like whiplash, right? Which is so cool to experience. And it really goes along with what's going on in the show, because in the show, you have these crazy things like murder and intrigue that are happening, but the foreground is this really kawaii, like really pop type environment, and the designs shift from that to that too. You have like these really dark moments, and then you have these very concert poppy, fun, lighthearted moments. It's intense. Again, we're getting that more laid back rhythm thing, that kind of halftime beat that we saw on that verse right before this one. But we're not getting this crazy here. It's not quite the same insanity that we experienced before, not getting the same speed out of the vocal. Really like that kind of going on in that background synth. Sweet. Also, they have these kind of militaristic drums going on with that snare, very military pattern. It's interesting because normally that more military pattern is done on a realistic sounding snare, but here you've got a very synthetic sounding snare, which is just super strange for me. It just like puts me off a little bit because I'm used to hearing it on a very realistic sounding snare. So it throws me off, but it's really cool. It's really interesting. It's different because it's not what I expect. The key change right there is so crazy because it's so sudden. It just like happens. Also, they've dulled down the synth. They've taken a lot of the high end out, or they've downsampled it. It sounds a little bit more like they've taken the high end out, and that's really clearing up the vocal so you can hear exactly what's going on. It gives a lot more breathiness to the vocal, a lot more clarity. I really like how they build back into the song. We've dropped down so low that when it comes back, we don't have as much harmonic information. We just have the core melody from the vocal and those claps. I think there's like a little bit of synthesizers going on, but they're really low in the mix. The things that are up front are the vocals. I love that as the mother in this scene disappears, as the idol disappears, the music continues. So the vocals are gone, the idol's gone, but the music keeps going without it, which is a really great way to symbolize grief, I feel like, which is crazy that we're getting that from this song. This song is doing so much in such a little tiny bit amount of time, and it's amazing to me. super fun way to end it. Just having that choral thing come back and then this really fast synth pattern. Super sick. The amount of synths they have in this, more bell-like synths, more siny synths, it's crazy. Just really great selection. And there's so much going on that you like, it's hard to not get caught up in the details because it's just taking your breath away the whole time. Great piece of music. Really enjoy it. Hope you've enjoyed my thoughts on this song. If you have, I'd really appreciate if you like, comment, share, subscribe. Also, I've recently released a song with a Japanese artist. It's called Swoon. I hope you'll check it out. It's pretty great. Thanks so much. Catch you on the flip.
これから宇宙には出かけるね。そして月見ながら好きだね。それから地球戻り